Well, good morning. Today we're going to dive into Galatians. We're going to start in Galatians 1:15. But when God, which means God chose the time, when God, who from my mother's womb set me apart. God had set Paul apart from his mother's womb. He had a plan and a purpose and a calling from him from the womb. And called me by his grace. It is by God's grace we are saved. Do you know the story of Paul and how he persecuted Christians and his whole story? But it was by God's grace that he still used Paul and wanted to use Paul because he had called him from his mother's womb. He had set him apart and called him by his grace despite his past. Was pleased. It is God's good pleasure that he would reveal his son in us so that I could preach him among the Gentiles. Paul's purpose, the reason he was called from the womb and set apart and called by grace, was to preach. And you have a purpose from the womb. It may not be to preach from a stage, but it may be to preach through love at work. It may be to preach through love through a 1-minute devotion on social media. It may be to preach just God's good grace to others, to give grace and forgiveness, to give grace in raising a teenager. But when God, no matter what you've been through, no matter what your loved one has been through that you've been praying for to turn their lives over to Jesus, it's not too late. You've not fallen too far. From womb to tomb, God has known you and he loves you. And being confident of this, Philippians 1:6 says, he who began a good work in me will complete it. He's not given up on you. Don't give up on him. He loves you. He has a purpose for you and he wants to use you. Have a great day.